It's in relationships. You're not going to find high quality women in the dating market because high quality women aren't dating. They're not single. They already have boyfriends or husbands. That's where they're hiding. It's inside relationships. So if you're wondering why you aren't meeting any high quality women, that's why. They're already taken. Think about the kind of characteristics that a woman has when she actually enjoys dating, when she says that she enjoys the single life, she loves casual hookups, she doesn't want commitment. Think about what kind of a person she is. She needs constant novelty and excitement as a way of outrunning her inner demons. She's scared of getting close to someone because she's not emotionally mature enough for genuine intimacy. She doesn't trust men, so she keeps things casual so that she doesn't have to take responsibility for her actions or be accountable to anybody. You see, mainstream culture doesn't want to admit this, but for a woman, the desire to be single, to just hook up with different guys, that's not normal. That runs counter to a woman's biological instincts. So why do women end up like this? Well, maybe she was traumatized by a bad upbringing or abusive relationships with men in her past and she has trust issues. That's possible. Maybe she's bought into the cultural indoctrination that says that it's empowering, to be a woman who's single, sleeping around like a man does. Or maybe just as an individual, she's really lazy or entitled and she's too busy chasing short-term pleasure to properly appreciate what she's missing out on in the long term. But whatever the reason, if a woman says, "I love being single," my advice is to believe her. She's telling you the truth. She's giving you that warning. She's basically waving that red flag right in front of your face. She says she loves being single. Great. Do not date her. High quality women want to be in relationships. They have values and personality traits that actually incentivize them towards commitment. They trust men, they respect masculinity and a man's capacity for leadership, and most importantly, they trust themselves and their own femininity. They're interested in self-growth and they value stability and loyalty. They value emotional intimacy. They want to have children someday. So already you can see that one of the biggest reasons why there are no high-quality women in the dating market is because they all got out. High-quality women don't want to be single. They don't want to be dating. They want to be in relationships. Now, when I say this next part, I'm obviously just talking about the heterosexual paradigm, but the truth of the matter is that high-quality women, they want to be in relationships with men, and I'm going to go even further than that and say something that's really not politically correct. Women actually need a boyfriend in order to become high quality, okay? Women need men. And the reason is because masculinity is what brings out the best in women. It's only in contrast with a masculine, in partnership with a man, that a woman can access her deepest reserves of femininity and become truly high quality. Now, I know that this goes against the hardcore feminist, rah-rah, we don't need men, gender war, misandry nonsense that we're getting really used to hearing these days, but this is facts. Women need men. Often, when women are isolated from men and they exist in female-only spaces, things get really toxic really quickly. Think of a clique of like the popular high school girls who egg each other on for bullying and gossip and social isolation and all these other forms of emotional torture. Or think about internet forums that only allow women to post and how quickly it becomes a toxic mess of blame and hatred and misandry. It's in relationships with men that brings out the best in women, which is why women who have been in a healthy, functional, respectful relationship with a good man, a kind, loyal, masculine, high-quality man, those women become more high-quality themselves over the years. That's the process. They continually are progressing to become better and better versions of themselves. I guarantee if you take the top 1,000 highest quality women in your country, 99% of them will be in relationships with high-quality men. That's not a coincidence. Women were never meant to exist in isolation. Each gender makes up one half of a whole. Women need men for balance and leadership so that their feminine contributions can be expressed in the proper context. For example, women's emotions. Now, women's emotions are beautiful. They help us stay connected to life, to reality, to the present moment. They help us foster connections between us and allow human beings to bond at a deeper level than just purely cognition. And in a healthy relationship, a woman's emotions are a grounding force, helping both people stay in tune with the world and with each other. But a woman's emotions can also be dangerous if experienced in excess. Without any masculine balance. Overly emotional women can be irrational, prone to blaming others, lots of projection, perpetual victimhood, which is why it's so necessary for a man to balance her out with cognition and logic. Now, I know that it's a vast oversimplification to say that women are emotional and men are cognitive. Obviously, I'm speaking in very general terms here to illustrate a point, which is that each gender brings out the best in each other. Men help women stay balanced with cognition, and women help men stay attuned to their emotions. A man brings masculinity to her life, and a woman brings femininity to his life. And in this way, neither gender gets lost too deeply in their own unique expression. In a sense, you can think of men and their masculinity as the blank canvas upon which a woman paints using her femininity, right? Like a poet needs a pen and a paper, a musician needs an instrument and a microphone, an actor needs a stage, and femininity needs masculinity. It's in the dance with the masculine, in that relationship, that a woman practices and grows in her own unique feminine expression and becomes the highest quality version of herself. The man serves as a natural boundary which makes her feel safe and protected. The feminine is emotional and chaotic, and the sad truth of it is that a lot of women are actually scared to explore their own femininity too deeply in case they lose control and get lost. Femininity can be like that. It's like this dark vortex that exists inside themselves, threatening to suck them in, and that's terrifying for a young woman. So they need a balancing force for grounding. They need masculinity. It's perhaps one of the reasons why more and more women are actually developing their masculinity these days, because they sense the lack of masculinity in modern men. They don't trust men to keep them safe, and so they develop their own masculinity as a form of protection. Now, us men, we actually bear some responsibility for that. The widespread cowardice in the male population in the modern culture, where individuals are so terrified of being accused of being patriarchal or sexist that we've actually surrendered our own masculinity and in the process left our women feeling unsafe. And that sucks, all right? Like, that state of affairs, that's not good. And of course, it's not all men's fault. It would help a lot if women stopped screaming about toxic masculinity every time a man made a well-intentioned mistake. And I understand this stuff is complex. If you are personally scared of your own masculinity because you've bought into this cultural indoctrination and you need some help, please reach out to me on Hey Hero. Send me your story. I'll send you a personalized video in response. But my point is that women in relationships feel safe because there's a presence of masculinity in her life coming from her man. So she doesn't need to provide it herself. That's the main point. It takes a lot of energy for women to become masculine because it's an uphill battle against her natural instincts. You see, when a man is providing all of that masculine leadership, all those masculine boundaries, all of the energy from the woman can now go into developing herself rather than compensating for what she isn't getting from him. Self-growth, self-reflection, self-development, these aren't infinite energy sources. If a woman has to spend time developing her masculinity, all of that energy and time is by necessity being taken away from her feminine development. And that sucks. It's one of the reasons why I made that video explaining that men should stop looking for high quality women in the dating market, but look for women who have high quality woman potential, because it's being with you, being with a high quality man with lots of masculinity that is going to turn her into a high quality woman. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll put a link down below. I really recommend watching it. That's an important video. So look, now you know, this is the reason why you're not meeting high quality women in the dating market. It's because they're not there. High quality women don't want to be single. They don't want to stay in the dating market. They want to be in relationships because they know that it's being with a man that's going to bring out the best in them, their deepest femininity and their highest quality. Are some women more hypergamous than others? Of course, and there are certain signs that you can learn to pick up on to gauge the strength of a woman's hypergamy and also the way that it's uniquely going to express itself. This is the topic of my latest Patreon video. If you'd like to see that, then please go and sign up at my Patreon. It's just a $5 a month subscription and you get instant access to a whole bunch of exclusive content. I post there twice a week. We have at least 150 videos there that you can see instantly. Wonderful community, great discussions. It's a great way of supporting the creator. I'd love to see you over there.